Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this like a podcast and just listen. I am working today on my Diamond Dots Fox Bliss kit. You may have seen the kit up of this. I'm excited to get started on this one. One, it's a partial, so it's not going to take very long. And two, it's super cute and adorable, so I can't wait. I've got my drills, my tray, my cat-proof tray, my pin, my confessional pin. I've got my logbook, my timer, notes, drink. I think I'm good to go. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see where I'm working, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm going to start down here at the bottom and just kind of work my way up. So yeah. All right, let me get some drills in the tray here, get my timer started, and then we will jump in. I always start out with my life update, so let me start out with that. My life update, what is going on? Oops, let me start my timer. I always forget that part. We here are all healthy and doing well. My husband's dad is doing as good as could be expected. And we're just kind of waiting at this point for our trip up there to see how everything is actually going to go. I got tuition paid. My son got registered for his classes, got tuition paid, got the one book ordered. I told him the other day, I feel kind of bad for him because it feels like he doesn't really get a break. You know, when I was in college, admittedly a while ago, I'm not going to say how long ago, but anyway, you know, our classes finished like the first week of December. And then we were off until almost the end of January. So it felt like you got almost a mini summer vacation. His classes seemed to go until, like, I think he wasn't finished with finals until like around the 18th or the 20th of December this year. And class starts up again around the 15th. And, you know, while that is a whole month off, it just doesn't feel like as much time as I got off when I was in school, which seems, I don't know, weird, I guess. Unfair somehow. I don't know. Just feel like it would be nicer if he got a little bit more time off, but also, you know, he's going to school online, something that was not an option for me. And, you know, maybe that offsets the fact that they don't have as much time off because they're not, you know, when I was in college, I had to drive to class and, you know, be there for finals and all that kind of stuff. Now they do everything online, and I'm fine with it being online. I don't have an issue with that. It just, yeah, I don't know. It's just different, I guess. Anyway, so he's done. So at least everything that I need to do other than him actually doing his schoolwork when classes start. So everything that I needed to take care of as the parent is done. And let's see. Oh, yeah, we're getting excited for our trip to Canada. It still doesn't seem quite real. I don't know why. I mean, we bought our plane tickets. You know, we've got hotels reserved, we've got car reserved. Yeah, it doesn't feel quite real. I don't know why. It's just weird. And now I'm suddenly realizing, I have all these things I need to get done here before we go, in addition to the things that we'd like to do once we get up there. I think I've been focusing more on what we're going to do when we get up there versus what I need to get done here first. And so, yeah, because we're going to be gone for almost 2 weeks, and I'm suddenly realizing, ooh, I'm leaving my youngest here alone for a couple of weeks. And, you know, while he's a good kid and he's not going to like throw wild parties or anything like that, there's just that element of, you know, making sure everything is going smoothly and, yeah, you know, just all those things that we take care of. Like my husband and I go buy the groceries. Not that he can't go buy groceries. It's just something he doesn't usually have to do. You know, dumb things like making sure that the trash gets taken out every week and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, we've gone before and he's handled all that just fine. So I don't know why I'm worrying about it. Just because I'm a mom, I guess, and a worrier, just my general nature. So I've started making lists of, okay, I need to get this done. I need to make sure that gets done. All of which probably will not matter at all, but it makes me feel better. So getting ready for that. And, you know, my husband and I, when we're up there, are going to try anyway to use some of the time while we're up there. Of course, he's going to be, you know, visiting family and all of that, but also to take some time to kind of, you know, explore what things will be options for us once we move up there. You know, looking at some housing, maybe some bank accounts, job situations, you know, that kind of thing. I personally have some specific things I want to look at. So yeah, just trying to figure out, you know, we usually, when we go up, we usually only go for a week. And so it's kind of a whirlwind because a couple of the days of that week are spent literally just traveling. You know, it takes us almost a day to fly from where we are to Bangor, and then it's usually another day to get from Bangor to where his parents live. And then on the way back, you know, same thing. We drive back, usually spend the night in Bangor because we've got to get up nice and early to be on the airplane to spend the day flying home. And so, you know, of that week, 3 or 4 days of it are spent traveling rather than visiting and whatever. We're going to have more time this time. We're going for longer. And so I think that's part of what makes it feel not quite so real, because we're going for longer. And so it's like, well, we're going to have time to do this, that, and the other, which we don't usually have time for. So it'll be interesting. And I'm trying to figure out what do I need to take with me so that I can continue to film and edit and post and all of that. As far as computers and stuff, you know, we've got a laptop, I've got an iPad, my phone, all that kind of stuff. So that part is fine. But, you know, I don't want to, I have a pretty nice setup here, and couldn't, even if I wanted to, but not going to schlep all the pieces that I use here up there. And so trying to figure out, you know, kind of what my bare minimum setup can be and what I need to take and what I don't, is going to be interesting. And also trying to figure out, you know, I've actually been trying to film a little bit of content ahead of time, which I used to do quite a bit of, but have gotten out of the habit, but have just done this time now, because taking a video and then like, oh, well, I'll just email myself the video file. Yeah, that doesn't happen. You can't just email yourself a 10 gig video file. So, you know, filming and making sure that I have like video files on flash drives or on the computers, laptop, whatever, so that I have what I need before we go up there. I mean, worst comes to worst, I can always make new content. So trying to get the logistics down. Refer to my earlier, I'm a worrier. Also, we went to the dentist, my son and I, and it was kind of funny. I ended up canceling my appointment, which was a week or so ago, because I wasn't feeling well and I didn't want to make the people at the dentist's office sick. My dentist was joking with me and just, you know, oh, it's just because you didn't want to come in and all that. So anyway, ended up going in on the same day as my youngest, and he went in first, got done, came out. They actually took him back early, about 20 minutes before his actual appointment time. And then they got done with him in about 30 minutes, came out, got me. So I was in there like 30 to 40 minutes before my appointment time. So we were both finished and out of there by the time my actual appointment time rolled around, which was kind of crazy. But we both made it out scot-free. No cavities, no return visit needed for either of us. So that was lovely. Although my son was frustrated because he said, Mom, I don't understand. I went in last time, you know, feeling great, didn't think I had any problems, and he needed a bunch of cavities filled. And he's like, this time I went in, I've got a tooth that was kind of bothering me, and they looked at it and said, nope, don't need anything done. And he's like, I don't understand. I'm like, I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth personally. I don't care what the reason is. I'm just happy I don't have to have anything done. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Dental work is not my favorite thing. I've had lots of it over the years, and yeah, I'm a strong proponent of just knock me out. and then you can do whatever you want because I'm asleep and I don't care. This whole make me stay awake while you give me anesthetic, yeah, not my idea of a fun time. You guys, that made me think of something. My husband and I just watched A Little Shop of Horrors the other day. It came up on YouTube as a free video to watch, and I was like, you know what, I haven't seen that in a while. I'm just going to watch it. I love that musical. I have revealing my age here, have the cassette tape of the soundtrack. Just, yeah, Steve Martin as the dentist and Bill Murray as one of his patients. Hilarious. I love that musical. So that's mostly what's going on in my real life. Not that my diamond painting life is separate from my real life, but you know what I mean. I've been sidetracked myself. I've told you guys before, I play role-playing games, and Dungeons and Dragons is usually the one that I play. Haven't played in a while. We were playing for a while with people online, and it just kind of fizzled out, and we haven't found another group yet. Anyway, there's been a whole bunch of drama lately in that community, so I've just been kind of watching the dumpster fire from afar. The amount of drama in any industry sometimes is amazing to me. Just amazing. Anyway, that's taken up a lot of my time. So I've been watching a lot of videos on that instead of watching diamond painting videos, but that's okay. I have been busy the last couple of weeks. I think since the year rolled over, it's been a lot of, ooh, I need to do this, ooh, I need to do that. You know, I was towards the end of last year, I had already started working on things like the new logo and the new intro and that kind of thing, and kind of looking, you know, towards the future in that way. But I also needed to go back and do things like upload, you know, change my defaults and things on YouTube to reflect the change in the year and all that kind of stuff. And you know, thinking also about all the things that I wanted to get out because the year was ending. And of course, I wanted to get out my finishes for 2022. I wanted to, at the beginning of the year, get out my goals for 2023 so that you guys kind of had, you know, a little bit of a roadmap as to where I'm headed this year. I changed my posting schedule, so that's been a bit weird. You know, I was posting on a different schedule for so long that my days get mixed up now, and it's like, oh, did I post, you know, the stuff that I was supposed to? Did I go? Because I try to put something out on the Facebook group and Instagram. If you're not in the Facebook group, check that out. Would love to have you. Or you can follow my Facebook page, or you can follow me over on Instagram. I try to keep a little bit of different content in all those places so that, you know, if you follow me in all of them, you're not seeing the same thing over and over. Yeah, just trying to figure out, okay, it's the new year. What do I need to do? My finishes for last year, got that done. My goals for this year, got that done. And then I wanted to, you know, give you guys a look at my stash to see kind of my starting point for the year and my goals and things. So I managed to get all that done, which is great. And then, of course, as soon as I publish some of them, it's like, oh, I didn't think about this, or I didn't take this into consideration, or I'm just always jumping in with both feet before I really look sometimes, which, you know, most of the time turns out okay, but I just get frustrated with myself because it's like, why didn't I look at this? You know, here I am trying to say, oh, I'm going to pay more attention to this, that, or the other, and then I do the exact same thing I did last time. Insanity, I tell you. Yeah, now that I've kind of got all that stuff, you know, end of year, beginning of year stuff out of the way, now I can focus on actually diamond painting, which kind of got put on the back burner while I was doing all of that stuff. Not only because I was working on that stuff, but also because at the end of last year I was burnt out. I feel like I've gotten my mojo back. I definitely feel like my enjoyment in the craft is back. You know, just picking kits that I want to work on, regardless of what the reason is, and kind of picking them as the mood strikes, because I think that's where I got into trouble last year. Was I was very focused on, okay, this was a goal, so I need to do this. This was a goal, so I need to do that. And it just kind of sucked all the joy out of it. And I mean, that's okay for the short term. It would have been fine for the short term. I think I just let it go on too long and I burned myself out. So I'm enjoying kind of getting back to you know, the things I enjoyed about the craft in the first place. Now, having said that, I do also need to start working on my goals. And I already know that I'm likely going to have to change my artist series goal. I went back through and kind of made a notation of each kit that I had picked, and then went back and actually looked at the sizes of them and went, ooh, yeah, it's probably not going to happen that I get through all of those kits. I'm gonna leave the goal as it is for now, because I don't really see the point in changing it yet. But I can tell that you know, the likelihood that I'm going to get through all of those large paintings in a year is pretty slim, especially given, you know, all the other stuff that I have going on. So I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't pay attention to that. You guys, if you can hear that dog barking, I apologize. They are working on extending our street, and my neighbor's dog barks all day long at these people who are out with, like, and I mean, they're blocks away, but they're using construction equipment, and these people have a Saint Bernard and a German Shepherd, and the Saint Bernard is the one that barks all the time. The other one hardly ever makes a noise, but that one, oh. Anyway, I hope you can't hear it. It's driving me bananas. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, kits, and then I'm probably not going to get to them. But yeah, I'm going to leave the goal as it is for now, and then we'll see what happens. Probably around June, July, mid-year, somewhere in there, I'll go back and evaluate where have I gotten so far, and what am I gonna, what does it look like I'm on track for the rest of the year, and then I'll make changes for that. Because in addition to the goals that I told you guys, I have other projects that I want to do. So I don't want to just focus on those 20 kits. I have other things I want to do as well. The other things that I want to do also have to do with, you know, stuff going on with YouTube and my channel and that kind of thing. So I got to try to figure out how to balance things. You know, I want to diamond paint. That's the joy, you know, that I get out of this. So I don't want to put that on the back burner, but I need to figure out that balance of, you know, there's lots of things going on at YouTube. YouTube is pushing shorts on everyone. I don't really know why, but they're going to allow people to monetize them. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of them, I'm assuming. I don't know. Part of me wonders if it's because, you know, our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. So consequently, so are our videos and everything else. So, you know, I do want to do some shorts, but I don't want to just make random videos because YouTube is pushing me to make shorts. And so trying to figure out what that looks like may be interesting. I have some ideas and some things that I'm working on, but yeah. Anyway, all of that means that that's time taken away from diamond painting. So I got to figure out, you know, how to clone myself. And that way one of me could be diamond painting while the other one's filming and cleaning my house or doing my laundry, or, you know, all those things that take time away from what I want to be working on. Yeah, lots going on. Yeah, just lots going on. Speaking about goals, and I don't really call mine challenges. I guess that Diamond Art Club challenge is going around. I think I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it using kits that I've already picked out for my own challenge. I think I can do it that way. We'll see if I make that work, but I think I can do it that way. I'm also trying to learn more. You know, when I started the YouTube channel, I just kind of jumped in and went, oh, this looks like it'll be fun. I'll do this. And now that it's kind of taken off and, you know, it is something that I enjoy doing and I'm trying to get better at. So I'm spending time doing things like, you know, learning more tips and tricks on how to edit videos and make things better. I want to do some testing of, you know, should I change my thumbnails? What works better? What doesn't? And because diamond painting is such kind of a niche channel, arena, it's kind of hard sometimes to figure out, you know, I mean, the content is just going to be not as interesting to a large section of people just because it's about diamond painting, and there's a large section of people who don't diamond paint or have never heard of diamond painting. Shocking, I know, but true. So we'll see. You know, maybe with that Brooke lady, what's her name? I can't think of it, Brooke something, having her new channel where she's interviewing people while they diamond paint. I don't know if that'll cause kind of a resurgence of people being interested in it, like people who found it, like me, during lockdowns and the pandemic, and don't know if it'll go anywhere because of that. We'll see. I don't even know when all of that's coming out, so I guess I'll find out. I guess I could look it up, I just haven't done it yet. Anyway, looking for, you know, ways to expand what I'm doing. Eventually, at some point, I would like to have, you know, this develop into kind of a business. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, just because I haven't really explored it, because I know we're going to be moving. Getting it all set up here and then trying to transplant it all to Canada seemed like it was going to be way more work than if I just waited. I don't know if that's going to end up being what I should have done or not, but that's what it is. And so that's one of the things I want to look at when we get up there is we're going to be in Canada, so I will have access to things that are not necessarily as easy to access from here. You know, I have the ability to talk to some people about what the rules and regulations are and how it all works. Because I don't have any idea what the rules are. I mean, I know some of the basic rules, but every province has their own probably kind of rules and regulations, just like all the states here have their own. Yeah, it's just, I know it'll be different. Because I mean, even here in the States, like in my particular state, I can just say, hey, I'm in business now. And I can use my Social Security number as my sole proprietorship number, and I'm good to go. My state doesn't require me to have a business license or file any kind of business paperwork or anything like that. I can just use my Social Security number and I'm good to go. And I know not every state is like that, but in my state, that's how it works. So I need to look at, you know, where we're moving to up there, what the rules are in that particular province, in addition to, you know, kind of what are the federal rules in Canada, and go from there. Because weirdly, there's just some things that you don't have access to outside of Canada. Plus, you know, my husband's family is there and I'll be able to ask some of them questions. One of his siblings worked for the government, and so I'm looking forward to kind of picking her brain about some things and seeing what she says. And we just have lots to explore anyway, you know, moving up there and trying to figure out the whole tax situation, because we still have to pay taxes here in the US, even when we're in Canada, and figuring out, you know, the logistics of all that and finding someone who can help us do that and all that kind of stuff is, yeah, going to be interesting to say the least. Yeah, just a lot going on and trying to figure all of that out. What else do I have going on? Yeah, I'm just feeling kind of the need right now. I guess probably the last couple of weeks since the beginning of the year, I've been focused on, like I said, getting out some of that content of, you know, I need to get out my finishes, my goals, all that kind of stuff. And now I just really want to buckle down and start diamond painting. And I got to admit, I'm starting to see why so many people have more than one WIP at a time. You know, when I first started diamond painting, it was just one thing at a time because that was what I could focus on. You know, being new to it, it didn't even occur to me, I don't think, honestly, to have more than one thing at a time. You know, I had a project and I was working on it and I work on it till it's done. That's just how I have always approached projects. Whether it was diamond painting or painting or ceramics or cross stitch or whatever, crochet, whatever craft I happen to be working on, it was, this is my project. I'm going to work on it till it's finished and then I'll move on to the next thing. So that's just kind of how I always was with diamond painting. And once I started it's probably just been in the last, well, probably since I started feeling burnt out. I was looking for, okay, I've got to do something to get me over, kind of the hump, because I couldn't just abandon diamond painting for a while. I still had, videos that I needed to put out and that kind of stuff. And so how do I do that and keep it kind of fresh for myself? And I discovered that, oh, actually, I don't mind having more than one painting on the go at one time. I'm starting to see the benefit of, having more than one project on the go and avoiding that burnout, because if I get tired of super confetti heavy heaven and earth design that I'm working on, I can do a section of that when I'm feeling in the mood. And then when I'm not, oh, let me hop over to, my Fox Bliss partial and finish that one up. Or let me hop over to my Diamond Art Club that I have open and work on that for a while. That one is confetti heavy, my heaven and earth, so I can jump over to one that's more color blocking. Or I can move the colors in the one I'm working on, at least in the sections I'm working on in my heaven and earth design, are quite dark. So let me move away from those and move into a painting where things are nice and bright and colorful, and just kind of give my brain that break of, focusing on something different for a bit. And it's been nice. Like I said, I wouldn't have said that I would be someone who would do that I would have more than one work, diamond painting, whatever, going on at a time. Let's see, currently I only have 2, but that's probably going to change. Like I said, I'm starting to see the benefit in being able to kind of jump around and do all that. So yeah, I'm still learning. I've been doing this since July of 2020, I think, is when I very first started diamond painting. I didn't start the channel until after that, but I actually started diamond painting in July of 2020. I still have things to figure out. I'm still sitting on all my finished canvases. I one day will think, this is it, I'm just going to get rid of them. And then, the next 10 minutes later, I'm like, well, but I could use them for this or that, or, I don't want to get rid of them yet. I put all this work into them. And so consequently, I haven't made a decision about those yet. They're still sitting there. More things for me to feel guilty about. Somebody asked me that, or somebody made a comment, and I know lots of people have way bigger stashes than I do. I actually was looking the other day on YouTube, and another diamond painter's stash video came up, and holy cannoli, it looked like she had an entire room filled with nothing but boxes. And I mean, for people who are in a different place in their life, that's cool. I don't know anything about that person's life. I don't know if it's a business for them. I don't know if it's a hobby. I don't know what their financial situation is. So, I'm not trying to say it's good or bad. Just, wow, it seemed like a lot. I mean, just because I was looking at the pile of paintings going, even if you diamond painted all day, every day, how many years would it take you to get through those kits? For me personally, I feel guilty about the number of kits that I have, because I look at them and think, when am I ever going to get to them? Now, maybe people have maybe other people look at them differently. I've heard people say it's not about doing the kits. For them, it's a collection. How many of these kits can I collect? So it's not about the doing of the paintings, it's about the collecting of the paintings, which admittedly is not my perspective. Maybe I don't totally understand it, but yeah, me personally, that's where my guilt comes from, is like, okay, I've got all these kits, but can I actually do them? Probably not. Do I want to do all of them? Because, there's always those kits that you buy because you've gotten sucked into the, oh, I've got to get it now or I won't be able to get it later. And then, 6 months later, you go to pull it out of the pile and you're like, do I even really want to do this one? And sometimes for me, the answer is no. And then it's like, well, why did I spend money on this painting? Because I got sucked into, oh, I'll never be able to get it again. Well, it turns out I didn't really want it. So would it have been a big deal that I didn't get it? Nope, probably not. Interesting, all of the different perspectives, And like I said, I don't know anything about that person. Maybe they didn't spend any money on that stuff. Maybe those are all paintings they got for free. I don't know. If you got them for free, that certainly would put a whole different spin on it for me, at least. But most of the paintings in my stash, not all, but the large majority of the paintings in my stash are ones that I spent money on myself. So they're not ones that, I got sent to me for free from companies or whatever. I'm just sitting here thinking, I don't know what the difference is between drills. Like, I'm pretty sure Diamond Dot says theirs are resin, but they feel so much harder than other drills. Somebody was I think it was on Instagram. I read somebody was saying they had done their first Dreamer design kits, and she said, I don't know how to explain it, but their drills are different than Diamond Art Club's. And didn't mean it in a bad way, just that they're different, but couldn't figure out how to articulate how they're different. And not only do I feel the same way about Dreamer Designs, I feel the same way about Diamond Dots. Like, their drills are good. I don't want to say their drills aren't good. They are. But I think in working with them, yeah, what comes to mind when I compare working with Diamond Dots to working with Diamond Art Club or anybody else, what comes to mind is their drills feel harder. And I don't know why that would be. Like, it was always my understanding that resin drills would be softer than acrylic drills. But I'm not sure there's an industry standard way to refer to acrylic versus resin, so who knows? I feel like, in my experience at least, resin drills scratch easier. So like if I need to pull them off with a pair of tweezers, or if I'm trying to straighten them like this or whatever, I have to be a little bit more careful with resin drills because I will scratch them. I don't feel like I need to be that careful with these Diamond Dots ones. They just feel harder, which is a weird thing to say, but I don't know how else to articulate it. And with the Dreamer Designs drills, I don't want to say theirs feel harder because I don't think that's necessarily true. They just feel different than Diamond Art Club, which is weird because they're the same size. I mean, I get that Diamond Art Clubs are resin versus Dreamer Designs is, I don't know. I can't remember if they say theirs are acrylic or resin. Can't remember. But either way, they just feel different. And maybe after I do, another Dreamer Designs, I've only done one Dreamer Designs kit, so maybe that just wasn't enough experience. I mean, it was enough experience to let me know they feel different, but not enough to let me know why or to figure out why. I've done, how many Diamond Dots kits have I done? I guess I've only done 2 Diamond Dots. I did my koi fish, which was one that I did at the very, very beginning of my diamond painting. It was also a partial, and it was very pretty and it turned out very well, but I was disappointed in that kit because I did not realize when I purchased it that it was a partial. So, when I opened it to discover it was a partial, and that's totally on me, once again, jumping in and not paying attention. I just saw, oh, look, it's cute koi fish. Let me get this, just missed that it was a partial. But anyway, so I've done 2 Diamond Dots. I did the koi fish and my eagle that I did for DP for Vets, and those are the only 2 Diamond Dots that I've done. That's something else I want to look at when we go to Canada. I'm asking my husband, well, what kind of craft stores do they have where we're going? Because, when we're up there, all my visits before, we've not really explored. I did go to Canada once before my husband and I were married, and we did go do some exploring up there. We went to you know, a falls that was nearby, and, you know, we kind of did some sightseeing, but all the rest of the times that we've gone up there, we've just gone and seen family. We haven't really, you know, done any touristy things or whatever. You know, we've gone to a couple of grocery stores and stuff like that, but I've never really explored the area. And so I said to him, you know, well, what kind of craft stores are up there? And he's like, I don't know of any. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know of any? There's none? So now I'm like, oh no, when we go up there, I need to look and see, like, is it just like a mom and pop type craft store? Do they not have any at all? Are we going to have to drive, you know, to a big city in the province to, you know, find a Joann's or a Michael's? I mean, I can order online, I'm sure. You know, if I get desperate for certain things, I can always have my family order it here and ship it to me up there. If I can't, you know, just order it directly from up there. But the thought of living somewhere where there isn't a craft shop, I don't know. I mean, there isn't a craft shop in the town where I live currently, but there's craft shops in the city that we're near. And, you know, it's only like a 40-minute drive or something from where we are to the big city. So, but where we would be moving to up there, it would be like a 3-hour drive to the big city. I definitely am going to want to check that out when we go up there and see, okay, wait a minute, let me see what's going on here and how this is going to work, and, you know, kind of some of the logistics of what I would need to do and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal if I needed to order things, but it would just be nice to know that, you know, oh, if I want to go up to Joann's, or, you know, because we buy lots of things at Joann's besides diamond paintings. We have our cutting machine. My husband does a lot of decals and, you know, cutouts and things like that. So he buys vinyl and, you know, other kind of crafting supplies that we get up there. So just need to kind of figure out what our options are going to be when we're up there. I mean, I'm sure they have them. I just don't know what they are. So might be fun to shop at like a little mom and pop shop instead of, you know, like a Joann's or whatever. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay. Is there anything else that I need to talk about? How long have I been talking? Okay. Yeah, I think I mentioned the Diamond Art Club challenge. Again, I don't know if Diamond Art Club started it or someone within the group or whatever, but I've written down all 5 goals, and I'm going to try and do them. I'm going to try and do them within the context of I've already set, you know, these goals for myself. Can I also make them do double duty and work for the Diamond Art Club challenge? And I think I can. Most of my kits are from Diamond Art Club anyway. So we'll see. That may change. I do definitely, one of the things that I want to do this year is spend some time exploring some companies that aren't Diamond Art Club. I like Diamond Art Club. They have a very good product, but I would like to try some other companies just to kind of see what's out there. I've seen that Carrot Art. I've not ordered from them. I think there's one called the one with the diamond painting. Anyway, I've just seen new ones popping up, and so I'm curious to kind of, and there's ones that have been around for a while that I haven't tried either, like Uniquely Yours Down Under. I've looked at like Bella Safina, haven't found anything I wanted to order yet, but, and then, you know, there's other companies that I have tried that I would like to order some more stuff from as well. Like Dreamer Designs, like Oraloa, like Diamond Painting Shop. Things that are on my to-do list that I need to get around to. My to-do list seems to grow constantly. I feel like I add more things than I take off sometimes, which I guess is good, but, you know, for me with my need for lists and that kind of thing, sometimes it gets frustrating because I feel like I don't ever get anywhere. Because, yeah, I accomplished these 3 things, but then I added 6 things onto my to-do list. So did I get anything done? It sometimes doesn't feel like it. So I think I'm going to call it there, guys. I made a pretty good start on this one. It's actually going pretty fast. I'm actually excited about how quickly this one is going. So let me zoom out here so you guys can see kind of how far I got. And yeah, I think it's looking pretty good so far. even though the drills are harder than others. I don't know if that makes sense if you've never done a diamond dots kit, but anyway. I think that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.